Hello, Chris with the Kentucky Woodsman Channel. You know, when we're in the woods, we never know when we're going to find ourselves in a situation that may require us to save someone's life. Whether it be hunting, fishing, out riding our side by sides, hiking, camping, we just never know when someone's going to need us to be there for them in a life saving situation. The best thing we can do is prepare ourselves for the situation and be ready when that time arrives. I challenge each and every one of you to take the time to take a class and prepare yourself for the worst case situation.
Does this class? The curriculum is is accredited through the American College of Emergency Physicians. So it's all accredited and stuff. And like I said, once we complete, everybody will get a certification in wilderness first aid. And I think it's 2 years. 2-year certification, just like CPR. So it'll be a 2-year certification. And actually, I'm not sure what college it is, but there is a college out west, pretty interesting. There's a college out west that you can actually get an associate's degree in wilderness first aid, and this is one of the classes that you take towards that associate's degree, so that's pretty cool. So it's emergency care, wilderness first aid, emergency care in remote locations. So
now I'm going to hold his arm and see how those are supposed to look with the whole circle and stuff. You're going to stretch it until it looks like that, okay? And you just keep stretching to look like that. And I promise that here in a minute, I'm going to get towards the end of it. I've got a lot of tourniquet left, right? This next wrap, let's see if he likes me. How well is that?
good.
Now we're to the end. Everybody feel his arm real quick before I take this off. Does it look like
A cat tourniquet is always our plan A, okay? An improvised tourniquet it's important to know how to use them if you need to, okay? If you're ever in that situation where you don't have a tourniquet, but just understand, say that this is like plan C or D, right? There are much better options than this. As far as an improvised tourniquet, it is typically for another person. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be really difficult to put an improvised tourniquet on yourself. Sort of cloth, and you want it to be kind of wide, okay? You're going to come in here, and you're going to make your first overhand knot. You're going to cinch that down. You want to get that good first, just like on the cat. When you cinch it down, you're getting that first bit of pressure. You want to cinch that down. The second part is the most important, is you got to have something as a windlass. You're going to use something as a windlass. You want something that is sturdy and is not going to break. You don't want to use some dry little stick that you find laying there, okay, because it's going to snap, it's going to break. You want to use something sturdy, a pair of scissors, a ratchet, a screwdriver, a good sturdy fork, or something that's not going to break when you start putting pressure on this, okay? You're going to make a simple overhand knot there, and then you're going to place whatever you're going to use, your scissors, your screwdriver, whatever you've got. You're going to place it in here. You're going to tie a knot with it over it. Try and get my knots over there. You're going to just tie that in place. Again, do that. That's in there. Now again, we're going to start cranking down. Find that pressure, crank that down. Now, the challenge is, once we get this tight enough, once we occlude the blood flow and the blood is stopped, now the challenge with an improvised tourniquet like this is keeping it in place. How are we going to keep this in place? You can use duct tape. You can use another triangle bandage if you have it. On something like this, you see you've got a lot of slack here hanging out. So you could use this if you had to. If you were using a t-shirt or something like that, you might not. Balls, and we are going to pack our way out of that wound. Okay? So if we've got some, and again, this is just minimal. We'll use the arterial bleeding and stuff, the simulation blood. We'll use it, you know, on a bigger scale when we get back in the heels. This right here will just kind of give you the feel. We are literally, we've got a major bleed here, and usually in these areas there's some sort of bone structure around. Okay, it's the long bone or the hips and stuff like that, and we're packing against that. We're putting pressure. We're going down in that. Getting your finger in there, right? Sticking your finger in there. It's not going to be comfortable. You're sticking your finger in there, finding that source of bleeding, and then we're going to take our gauze, our quick clot. We've got some quick clot trainer over here we'll look at. Basically, we're trading out our finger. Okay? And we are packing that wound. And you can kind of go north, south, east, and west. Okay? Just in there and here. We're putting pressure on that vessel, on that artery, and we're packing our way out of that wound.